princess. You could come with me. I could take you to a planet where there's 8 moons. You would look so beautiful. But, Andros, I need it here on Earth. But I sent you a planet. Whatever.
Welcome to the wonderful world of Wonder Woman. I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
And tonight we're going to talk about
Episode 11 Mind Stealers from Outer Space, Part 2.
Get the mind banks ready for evacuation, quick!
Leaving without saying goodbye.
Which aired originally on 12/9/1977. How do you spell IQ? The aliens enlarge their hunt, targeting the top brains from a think tank. If Wonder Woman and Andros don't find a way to defeat the alien Skrill in 48 hours, Earth will be decontaminated by higher forces from outer space, who use insanity-inducing procedures to force their targets out of hiding. And our cast tonight. Returning as always is Linda Carter as Diana Princess / Wonder Woman. Lyle Wagner as Colonel Steve Trevor Jr. or Joe
2.0.
Yes, Joe 2.0. Dak Rambo as Andros 2.0. Vincent Van Patten as Johnny. Unfortunately. Kristen Larkin as Debbie, the other possessed teen, possessed by the aliens. We have Earl Bowen as Chaka, one of Andros's alien people who are going to do the purge.
Not to be confused with the Pakuni.
No.
The same name.
No. Much more, not as violent or advanced. Barbara O. Jones as Cell, the other main alien who's threatening to decontaminate the Earth. We also have Pamela Mason as Carla Burgess, a apparently brilliant sculptress who is on the think tank. We also have Regis Cordic as Professor Eidelman, another member of the think tank. And, of course, we have Alan Coleman as, "Hey, Dr. Rand. Hey, I can't do anything."
Dr. Ross Geller.
Dr. Ross Geller. And lest we forget, Paul Baxley as the Sardor.
Whatever.
How naive were we to think that we had a think tank of the most brilliant minds in the world that the governments of the world would listen to?
Correct.
I mean, if 2020 taught us anything,
Yes.
that's not true.
No. Neither is the UN convincing the planet to save itself.
Yes. we couldn't even argue on, see eye to eye on pollution.
Right.
Oh man. I don't know. I don't know where to start with this one. I thought the finale was pretty action packed.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed the metaphysics of the mental connections and the mind connections between everybody. What was his name? Ambrose?
Andros.
And his people.
Yep.
But yeah, man, this episode, I don't know. I don't know. It just lost something. Maybe had we watched them back to back, but then I think we didn't watch them back to back when they first came out. We had a whole week to wait.
Yeah,
and
so we really have patterned what we did as kids.
Yeah, and it didn't quite. The second half didn't live up to the first half.
No.
I don't feel. it was it was fast enough paced. But it was one of those things where like the large scale of like say the mind eggs that had everything and all that. When it boils down to it, when you have a plot like that, and it gets boiled down to like being in a room with a couple of glowy eggs and saying, "Yes, we'll distribute these out and everybody be great."
Mm-hmm.
It really like diminishes it for me. So I didn't enjoy part two as much as I enjoyed part one. I enjoyed Dak Rambo because he's Dak Rambo,
Jack Rambo, yeah.
but and of course Wonder Woman's fine, Linda Carter's fine, but not Dick Van Patten, Vincent Van Patten, of course, was Vincent Van Patten. Yeah. The absence of Steve Trevor in the field is felt.
Whatever.
Yeah, it for me it was a really strange episode. And I don't know. I'm sure it had to do with budget,
Mm-hmm.
but because it had moments of brilliance. Where the first episode was tightly plotted, lots of action,
Yeah.
plot made sense. They even went, as far as to explain the mind stealing, which I really liked. In this one, we get the really cool part where they lead Andros to the squirrel lead Andros to the trap in the abandoned building.
Yes.
Outside Washington D.C. And they fire their laser hand wrist guns at the building and totally collapse the building and trap Andros and Wonder Woman in the building. Now that was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly, stock footage of a building being destroyed, but the way they filmed it, it looked really cool.
Yeah.
But then we also get, the use of that famous zoo from the 70s that was in all the 70s shows, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the fight with the Stardor. It could be about as good of a fight as you could do with, Wonder Woman and not having stunt doubles.
Yeah.
And so I thought the Stardor part was neat. But then you get like just filler. Like, why do they have to show her running from her apartment and jumping over the same thing she always jumps over why have all that? That took forever.
Well, you answered your own question.
I know.
It was filler.
I understand.
This episode, honestly, if I really thought about it, if you took out the plot parts and not including her jumping around everywhere and everything that followed Andros's leaving, there's almost like maybe a half an hour worth of
Well, and I think the worst part is they do the ending a disservice. So they go from her defeating the Stardor, them getting the mines back, and then suddenly everyone's standing there in the end. They've captured everyone. They don't show any of that. They've rounded them up.
Yeah.
The cops are there. So the cops who have been useless up to this point suddenly are able to capture. I just hated the ending. So they waste all this time when they could have. I mean, clearly they had enough bodies to show have Steve come in with the cops. Like that could have been cool.
Well, and I think part one wrote part two into a corner.
Yeah.
And then they looked at part two and went, "Oh crap, we have to deliver on all this."
Right.
So they didn't know how to deliver on all of it with the budget they've got.
Yeah.
So they just kind of like so much was done off camera.
Yeah.
That it's just kind of like it was kind of anticlimactic. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm a little bit confused about again the mind stealing stuff because they're like, well, we're going to go after the best brains, but that wasn't the impetus of episode 1. It was any brain, because they're going to use them for mundane things.
Yeah.
So the fact that they suddenly are going after the smartest people in Washington D.C., I thought was a bit odd. If they had just kept it up with them stealing the mind of everybody they encountered, that might have driven the plot a lot better.
Yeah.
And so that
or had they started the story with that, where they were here to steal the best and
correct.
brightest.
We'll harvest the best and brightest first.
These other ones are just so we have flunkies and underlings to use.
Correct.
Hence Vincent Van Patten.
Yeah, or if they said that only if we harvest the best minds in the world, that'll make us the most money, or the best. Yeah, it didn't quite. It's like part 2 didn't. It's like the people that wrote and directed part 1 didn't have much to do with part 2, but I know they did. But it was just weird. It felt like a whole different vibe, a
Yeah.
whole different group of people.
Whatever.
There are other things in the plot. So they're worried about the 48 hours that they have left, the countdown.
Mhm.
But Andros takes the time to repair her door, and she has time to vacuum the floor
Yes.
and clean it.
Yeah.
The whole countdown didn't quite make sense either.
Yeah. I love a good ticking clock.
Yeah.
But it's like just the vacuum. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. She's a woman, so
Right, have her
she's
clean it,
gotta
yes.
she's gotta clean or something.
Well, and the fact that so the other thing that I thought was weird was Andros's people, their decontamination. So in my mind, in episode 1, when they're talking about decontaminating the planet, I thought they were just talking about wiping out every living organism on the planet.
That's
to
what
get
it
the
seemed
Skrull.
like.
Yeah, but no. So there, let me. I wrote this down. It will basically, as the summary said, they will do a decontamination broadcast that will drive the most evil people mad, and that will they won't be able to control themselves, and they'll come out of hiding so they can be captured. And then Steve and Wonder Woman say, well, how many people is that going to affect in the world? And they're like 2 million, but 2 million insanely evil people. So what do we care? What do we care if the evil people? So that means like all the evil serial killers could have been driven out of hiding, and they could have. I mean, to me, it would have been like a win-win.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead, decontaminate all you want.
They would have caught John Wayne Gacy earlier. They would have caught,
Right. Be no MAGA now.
And I think that's very wonderful.
So I don't get the threat didn't make sense either. And so, well, we can't let that happen to 2 million evil people, evil crazy people.
The countdown, the ticking time bomb, the ticking clock in part 1 was way more intense when you didn't know what the cleansing
correct
would be.
Right.
And then when you find out what it is in part 2, it's just like, that's it?
That's all that's gonna happen.
Okay.
Yeah, let it happen. What the hell? Let her rip. Steve will be like, we won't be needed anymore. Our whole division will go away. Yeah, it just didn't. It doesn't make sense. And why is the think tank called Turtex? That just bugged me. I don't know why Turtex.
If you know, let us know down below.
Yeah, is there a reason for that? It's the tertiary Texas. Is it from Texas? Tertiary, the third think tank located in Texas. So I don't know. I mean, I do like that. I predicted it, right? So Wonder Woman finds when Andros loses his mind. She's able to project herself onto the planet. And the crowd like, oh, she's going to give a speech, and she did give a speech.
Yeah,
but it failed.
Yeah,
it just didn't work, and so even that was off.
Mm-hmm.
And so. Yeah, I don't know. It just didn't it didn't flow. It lacked flow. That's the problem. So we go from like really intensive fight scene to long drawn out conversations.
Yeah.
It just didn't work for me.
No.
But I don't know if it could have been I don't think it could have been a one-parter though either. So I don't know.
I just think it needed to be part 2 needed to be rewritten because it did not match the immediacy and the urgency and the scope of part 1.
Well, even like the Battle of the Sardor could have in the beginning of the episode was too easily resolved too quickly.
Yeah.
They could have stretched that out. Or Wonder Woman or Diana gets captured, and then Andros has to figure out how to, help her transform because they tie her up or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or he goes and him and Steve, let's put Wonder Woman on the sidelines. Him and Steve have to team up to help her out or something. Anything to fill the time. Rather than a sculptor sitting there talking about sculpting and Turtex. And so, just odd choices in this episode. Odd choices.
Whatever.
But boy, Dak Rambo looked good in that silver.
I mean, if anyone could fill out a silver suit, it's Dak Rambo.
He was snazzy. No wonder Wonder Woman almost fell for him in the end.
Yeah, almost. She was planning for him, but her work was here on Earth.
That's right.
Thank goodness.
Yes. Yeah, she couldn't leave us. Or her mother and everyone else. But,
her mother.
Although, she is immortal, so she could have taken like a 2-week hiatus with him to that planet of 8 moons.
That's right. I want to know what the weather's like on that planet.
It's horrible.
Like, and it's like 8 joules in the sky. Of course, the Earth is just being ripped. The planet's being ripped apart. The seas are
Yes.
just down.
You have to stand on the
destroying
highest-
civilization.
You have to stand on the highest peak to even see the moons
Yes.
because the waves are crashing. Yes, the waves are crashing
Yeah.
over. But you don't have to worry about it. We already decontaminated that world.
Yes, yeah, we it's decontaminated.
yes.
I'll be through, just like the country.
Okay, so what do we got for next week?
So next week we are coming up on. I think I'm gonna like this one. Episode 12, The Deadly Toys. It airs on New Year's Eve. Scary Christmas. During Yuletide, a demented toy maker uses android scientists for a nefarious purpose.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, that sounds.
Please tell me that dude that plays Dr. Shrinker is in it.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. I'm on board with the new direction.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to let this one episode.
Nah,
Yeah.
because I really liked episode 1. I mean, it
Yeah.
was great. They just didn't follow through correctly.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Let us know down below what you thought of this episode. Not this episode, but the episode that we're talking about.
Or this episode. Compliments are appreciated.
Yeah. So's cash.
Yes.
And I'm Paul.
I'm Mark.
And this has been The Wonderful World of Wonder Woman.
And we will see you whenever.
Cooperate, and these people will be unharmed. But if any of you move...
These distinguished citizens will be in danger of being extinguished.
She's fainting.
Whatever.